the Art and Industry of Business and Living podcast, discussing conscious choices around business, money, life and living, and creating a greater future for you and the planet.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Art and Industry of Business and Living. You're with Simone Milasas, and Happy New Year. You are probably a couple of weeks into the new year now, 2019. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? So, and today I have, I'm not even going to attempt to say your last name, but I have a fellow Joy business facilitator, and she's an access consciousness facilitator. She lives in Austria, and her name is, let me give it a shot, Doris Schachenhofer.
Yes, Schachenhofer. Hello, and thank you.
All right, that wasn't too bad. So thank you for joining me. How's the weather over there? Are you freezing your butt off?
No, it's not that cold, but if I compare it with you and Australia, it's cold, yes. We do wear hats and hand gloves and... Right.
I actually, as this show goes to air, I will be in Europe and I will be enjoying wearing my jackets and my hats and my gloves. So I know, I never trust an Australian, or never trust a Queenslander, is where I'm from, if they say it's cold, because we don't really know what cold is. It's like we're, lucky to put the heater on throughout the year. So anyway, enough about the weather, even though sometimes I find the weather fascinating. I wanted to talk about business with you, and one of the things that we wanted to talk about is the demand that makes your business thrive. I want to ask you a few questions first. You have your own business, is that correct, Doris?
Yes, I do.
So you're a Joy business facilitator. Are you a Right Voice facilitator as well?
Yes, Right Voice, being you and conscious parents, conscious kids.
Wow, you've got a lot going on there. That's awesome. So let me ask you a couple of questions. It's like, what was your point of view about business, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Like, have you always had your own business, or did you work for other people? It's like, what was your point of view about business?
Oh, I was employed in different jobs, in companies, but there was always something in my world of being my own boss, especially with my last job, where I always worked with people. So I'm a social worker from what I've studied, and so this is where I come from. And with my last job, I was like, oh, I would love to expand more. And also with the resources, there was limits in every way. And I was like, I would like to be my own boss. This is where I come from. And I said to myself, I would like to have much more money as well and create something completely different and travel the world. So, there was.
So tell me when you said you'd like to be your own boss, it's like, tell me what you thought that was, and has that turned out the same way, or does it look entirely different?
I said this when I was at home after my last job with my kids. I was like, I know that the job that I had before I cannot do. I'm not that flexible anymore. And there was a vision in my world of being my own boss, that I don't have all these regulations and limits. And there was nothing of being self-employed, that this is my target. It was more like to have a job where I have more, where I can be more free, can decide more, where I have a position where I don't need to ask other people so much of, is this okay, is it not okay, that I can play more around in. And what happened was, during I was a stay-home mom, the Access bars came into my life. And I went there for a one-day class, and at the end of the day, I didn't know what this is. I was just like, oh, that's interesting, I will go there. So I had no idea of what access consciousness is and where it can go and what it provides. But at the end of the day, the woman said to me, I give you this certificate now, and now you can give single sessions to other people. And this matched the energy of what I was asking about. And I drove home and called my ex-husband and said, I have my business that I've asked for. She said, I love that. To other people. And I said, okay, I know this is my business now, however this looks like. And from that on, I was like, okay, what does it require? I can now give single sessions. And then they told me, if you do 3 bath classes, you can give 1-day classes. And I was like, okay, cool. And I did it in 1 month. So I just followed that. But from coming to this 1-day class with not knowing what I'm doing there, I went out with, this is my business. I will make money with this.
I want to just point out something there, though, because I think that's a fabulous story as well, Doris. And so many people think that having your own business and owning your own business and being in business, for yourself and with yourself requires a hell of a lot of money. It requires a website. It requires business cards. It requires a degree. It doesn't. You literally went to a bars class, and then this lady said this to you, and you went, oh, what else do I have to do? Oh, I have to do 3 bars classes with 3 different facilitators, and then I can start my business. And you don't need a website. You can literally go out and say, hey, you know what? I'm running bars on people. I charge, €100 or whatever it is, and it's like, and start running bars. So one thing I want to say to you out there, if you've started the new year and you have an idea, it's like, please run with it. It's like everything that doesn't allow you to know that you can create a business from your fabulous, amazing ideas where you destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And one of the things that, I know we wanted to talk about today is the demand that makes your business thrive. And that simple demand that you had of you, that you desired and knew that your life would be better if you could have a bit more flexibility with it, creates possibilities showing up. So how many possibilities are available for you all that you have not yet received because they didn't show up the way you thought they would show up? And what if this year, 2019, you started looking at the possibilities showing up and saying, hey, what if I give this one a shot? Just because you don't know how to do it or just because you have no idea what it's going to look like doesn't mean you can't, jump in, both feet forward, let's go.
Totally.
So you did, and then you became a facilitator.
Yeah. Also people are like, because I went on with every class, they told me 3 classes and then, it started with, I start my business with single sessions. And then I was like, what is the next possibility here? They told me 3 classes, then you can offer 1-day classes. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this. And I did. And then how we have it in Access Consciousness is there is then another class where you can get the whole basic tools, so the whole toolkit that we offer. And so they told me, there is a movement coming to Vienna and you get the basic tools. I didn't know who is coming. I didn't know who this is. I'm like, okay, I'm in. And then they told me, this younger guy from America is coming to Vienna the first time. And I was like, I didn't know who Dane is, Dr. Dane here, but I'm like, okay, cool, I'm in. And so I went on from one class to another. Then they told me, the other guy, the older guy is coming to Dublin. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm in. And I went there. And if people ask me now how I paid for it and where did the money come from, I really don't know because I was a stay-home mom. What I know is it was so clear in my world that I'm there. And you rang me also with Joy of Business Facilitators class that we had in Venice, and you said you were like, it Skyped me or something, I can't remember, but I remember the energy of the demand in your world when you went, wow, Joy of Business Facilitators is happening, why wouldn't I do this? And you had that same energy of I'm in. So I love that. It's like, what if that was the invitation to the universe to actually contribute to you? I mean, people ask you how the money showed up. But you didn't go to the how, you went to the demand. Yep, I'm in. Let's do this. It's like, are you in or are you out? So what have you been refusing to actually ask for and say, I'm in, that if you didn't, would allow more possibilities to show up again? And everything at that is time to go zoom, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all names, shorts, boys and beyond. So what else do you see, Doris, as the demand that makes your business thrive? I mean, you made your life living in business thrive. You made your cash flow thrive. Yeah, totally. When I put the title out, what I was looking, like we both are talking to do this podcast now for some weeks to get a diamond date that works for both of us. And back then I was like, okay, there is a new demand for me to make for my business. You know, it's growing so fast. And it's like, okay, what else am I willing to step into to create this with total ease? Because to be honest, I have a lot of income, and my expenses are also growing. So I went into, I'm short in money, you know, and at the same time I'm creating. And I was like, okay, so what can I step into right now that, if I'm willing, would expand it again and again and again, and not giving up and not making it about the numbers, to really look at what have I created and acknowledging what I've created and what else is possible here. And we are talking in the last time a lot of asking what is possible beyond this reality. And this changed a lot for me, because what I saw is also for asking for the infinite possibilities and what else is possible, that I saw myself and also other people to still ask in the possibilities that we can like somehow measure, somehow see. And it's really like, what if we go out of control and ask what is possible beyond this reality that we have never seen on this planet and never considered.
And everything does allow that to show up, destroy and uncreate it, right? Yeah. Good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, millions, yeah.
And then I talked to a friend, and she's also in the Joy of Business Better. And I said, you know, sometimes at the end of my creations, like at the end, shortly before a class, you know, my demand gets so high, and I get even more potent and even more enthusiastic about the class that is coming up, about the creation. And people that are around me would be overwhelmed or like say, oh, there is such an expectation in your world. And I was so confused with that. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, it's really this demand. And what Emily was saying, it's like she has this sometimes with you. And therefore, I was looking at this. She's like, at the end, like you, Simone, get such an enthusiasm and demand of this creation and of this, okay, let's be more and go for this. And this creates something interesting for other people, I get. And I was like, okay, if I want to have my business, thrive my business and invite people and being the potency that I'm being, what else is possible there? So I wanted to ask you as well.
Like enthusiasm is one of the things. I mean, so if I hear what you're saying, it's like enthusiasm is one of the points out there. So if you have the enthusiasm for what it is that you are desiring to create, and it's like, what else can show up? And it's like asking for possibilities that are outside of the box. And then also, I love the way you said, it's like, you know, basically it's being grateful for what you've created. Like, so what have you created that you haven't been willing to acknowledge, that if you did acknowledge it would have more possibilities show up? Like, I saw this video on Facebook last night as I was going to sleep, and it was really cool. It was, I don't remember what platform it is, but it's one that sends out like very, you know, inspirational sort of videos. And there's this guy talking about, you know, you're enough, basically. It's like, stop trying to look at other people to create you as whole or create you as more. And he talks about this conversation that he had with a friend who every time she went to, oh, I'm not good at this, he was like, you're brilliant. And then, you know, and she was like, oh, well, I can't do this. And he was like, of course you can. Just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean you can't do it. And she said to him, why are you always filling up my cup and not filling up your own? And he was like, oh, you're right. And it was so interesting for me last night, because I was like, wow, how often do we not look at our own brilliance, and yet we look at other people's brilliance? We're so quick to look at how brilliant other people are rather than acknowledge the brilliance that we be. It's like, you talk about me being enthusiastic, and it's like, I remember that moment where you went, why wouldn't I choose to be a Joy Business Facilitator, and went, okay, I'm in. And it's like, to me, that's like courageous and brave and has that level of enthusiasm that is not normal. And yet we don't tend to acknowledge how great we are. What if we could start today with acknowledging how great we are and that we're friggin' brilliant? and what would we like to create?
Yes.
And that, to me, is a demand that makes your business thrive.
Yeah, I love that so much. That's so cool. And not stopping for anyone or anything, and like trusting yourself, and really like where we can say like, I'm great, I'm brilliant, and there's nothing in our world, and we can say it just for us, just for fun, but really also inviting ourselves to not have anything in the world, and inviting us more and more and more in that. And this is where I had a grateful call today, at the end of the year, to invite people. This was a free call from that I gifted to people, and where I said to them, it's really about acknowledging yourself and allowing yourself to say about yourself, I'm cool. And it's just for you that you know what you bring to the world. And this is what is a big part also with your business, being grateful for yourself, for the business, and then building up on that and asking for what else is possible here.
Yep, totally. And so what I would like to ask too is like right now, all the places where you're listening to this show and going, oh yeah, but those guys have X, Y, Z. It's like, well, we created it, we chose it. And it's like, so what would you like to choose? And it's like, what if you started today with just stop judging yourself? It's like, stop judging yourself in business. That would be a great start. And you don't have to get it right. One of my favorite things that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, has always said is that people would prefer to be right than to be free. So how many of you are searching for that 30 seconds, that 1 minute, so that you can be right and have the rightness of your point of view rather than actually be free? And so my tool that I would like to give you guys today is go throughout your day. It doesn't just have to be in business, it's in everything. And have a look at how many times you try to create the rightness of your point of view rather than actually be free. Now, one of the tools that we talk about in Access Consciousness is, which I love, is, and practice it on your partner, on your kids, anyone, someone you work with. Practice saying this and say, you know what, you're right, I'm wrong. You're right, I'm wrong. You know what, you're right, I'm wrong. And I can tell you, if you say that at least 3 times, the other person ends up going, no, you're not wrong. And there's a different energy that is available. And what if it was about creating a different energy, a different demand of your business that enabled more possibilities to show up? Because if you look at the energy of you going, no, I'm in the rightness of my point of view, you can only head in one direction. You can only head in the direction of the rightness of your point of view. Rather than, what if you're actually free? If you were free, possibilities can show up from everywhere. So Doris, tell me, what have you got coming up? Because you're based in Austria, but I know that you travel all around the world. So what are where can people find you, and what are some of the classes you have coming up? And then we'll talk about a final tool.
Yes. So I'm traveling with Joy of Business in Europe next year. So I'm really excited. I will be in Austria in February for a 3-day class, Joy of Business. And I will go to Lyon, to France, for a 1-day class on the 18th of March, and to the Netherlands on the 24th of March. And yes, and you can find me on Facebook with my name, Doris Schachenhofer, and on Instagram with my name. And I have a YouTube channel under my name, and on the Access web page, www.accessconsciousness.com/Doris Schachenhofer. And my web page is in build. So I have until now created a business without having a web page. And it's in a mix, and will be up somewhere in 2019.
That is so not this reality.
And people tell me, I'm searching for you and I can't find your page. So there is an information out that people are looking for me, and I love this energy around. And
so I actually have a class in Lyon as well at the beginning of March. So you know what? I would love it if you had some flyers or something that you could give my host so that we can give them out, because then you'll be following up on the 18th of March. That would be fun.
So cool. Thank you so much. I will. have someone bring
You're
them.
welcome. Cool. So do you have like one or two more tools that you could give the people on how you see making that demand that makes your business thrive?
What I do a lot and even more is like destroying and ungrading all the reference points to my business and what it was yesterday and what I like. I start my day with everything that I was yesterday and everything that I was yesterday with my business and everything I was yesterday with my financial reality. I destroy and ungrade right, wrong, good and bad, put and toggle, nine shits, boys and beyonds, and all the reference points that I have in regards of my business. I destroy and ungrade right, wrong, good and bad, put and toggle, nine shits, boys and beyonds. This changed a lot, where I start every day new and ask what else is possible. Also, what I really love is to destroy and ungrade all the expectations and projections of me in business and of my business. And this is interesting because you gave an information yesterday about that, and I was looking at that and was like, okay, I destroy and ungrade all the expectations and projections that I have of me in business and of my business, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't need to know what they are. And I get there is an energy of that there are expectations in my world and projections. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I love about access consciousness. We don't need to define and think about it and find them. It's like you just ask them to come up and clear them to have new possibilities. And this is also my way. I don't like hard work and I don't like to search for stuff and make myself wrong. It's really like, okay, cool. Everything that is in my world, known and unknown, thank you, bye. And the cool gearing that I will add from now on is what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to allow the business to expand exponentially. And everything I love it. Right now, I'm good and bad, but I'm powerful, nine shits, boys and beyond. This is where I love when people, I get information and I just steal it to my advantage to use it, and it's really about using it. And what I tell my people and like that I work with is, for me it's an everyday practice. It's using it every day, and of course I don't have every clearing and every tool maybe every day, but I have a toolkit for me, like questions that I start my day with, and do it regularly. It's something that that needs to be practiced, like me. But it's like just be with it and be with it and be with it, and then it will grow. If you do it like once a month, it will be. It's a difference. So I like that.
I do that with breakfast as well. It's sort of like as you're getting your coffee, as you're showering, and it's like, or starting your day. It's like, okay, what tools can I use today? And one of the simple things I do is get Post-it notes. And quite often, the tool that I'm using at the moment is I get a Post-it note and I put it on my bathroom mirror. So when I'm brushing my teeth or, when I'm using the bathroom, I can see it and I can ask the question and poke and pot it. And I love that you mentioned that, Doris, because you don't need to find out what it is. You don't need to peel the layers of the onion and go to the wrongness of you. It's literally just like, okay, you know what? Everything that I was yesterday, destroy and uncreate it, bright and wrong, good and bad, poke and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. The other thing I quite often do is I put reminders in my phone. Like I'll put a question in my phone and I set it so it goes off every day at the same time so that I can be like, oh, and ask this question. Because you know what? A lot of the times we tend to forget, but using these tools once a month isn't going to change anything as much as if you use them every day and every moment of the day, as Doris suggested. Yes. So, Doris, thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm so grateful that we finally got to do this podcast.
Thank you. This was so much fun.
I'll be seeing you in Europe soon.
Yes.
So how does it get any better than that? Yeah.
See you soon.
So awesome. All right. And you know what? Have fun, everyone. And it's like start your day with actually having fun and asking some questions, because as we always talk about in Access Consciousness, an answer will always disempower, whereas a question will actually empower you to, have and be something greater. Oh, and just to mention too, I'm also doing a Business Done Different and a Kickstart Your Business class live in Houston, Texas, from the 1st to the 4th of February. But it's also live streamed. So if you want to jump on live stream, you can watch it from the comfort of your couch or even in the bath. It's like your choice. Or come visit me in Houston, Texas. And check out accessjoybusiness.com for a Joy Business facilitator near you. All right. I hope you're enjoying your year. And we'll see you next week on this podcast. And tell your friends about it. Tell your family, friends, foes, everyone. All right. Thank you so much, Doris, for joining me today. I adore you. Thank you, Simone. See you next time.
I adore you.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.